Hi team, in today's video we're talking about networking. More specifically, how do we prepare ourselves to attend some kind of networking event where we're going to be successful meeting people. Now, why is networking so important? Well, it's really a mutually beneficial engagement when we connect with different people. We can learn from them, we can build relationships, we can exchange different information. We're making different connections with people in our environment, in our community, who not only could they potentially help us, but we might be able to help them. So in order to avoid the awkwardness of what inevitably comes from a networking event, the awkward, hey, what's up? So the weather outside is really crazy right now. I feel so weird at these things. To avoid any of that really rambling, I have 3 specific strategies we can do ahead of time and 4 more we can use while we're at a networking event to help us be much more successful. Okay, let's get into it. So the first one, what we can do, the first step we can take is to do our homework ahead of time. Get a deep understanding of not only who is the sponsoring organization and what is the specific event that they are coordinating or running, but why is this organization so important? Why is this event important? And who are the likely attendees of the event? By getting a better understanding of the clientele or the guest list, we can get a better understanding of what is their likely background and what are some of the shared interests that all of us attending the event are likely to have. It's also helpful for us to define our own reason for attending. What are we specifically hoping to get out of the event? Is it really focused on relationship building? Are we interested in learning about a specific topic? Are we interested in hearing somebody speak or seeing something being presented? By answering those questions, we get a much better understanding of not only who we are, but why this is a good use of our time. But we've also got a step-off point when we do connect with somebody who asks us about ourselves. The second thing we can do ahead of time is to prepare our own little icebreakers. Icebreakers are those things and kind of games we can play that get people talking, get people having fun. Something about an icebreaker that we tend to enjoy. And when we're enjoying talking about something or we're enjoying spending time with somebody, we're going to be much more likely to stick around and ask them more questions and continue on with that conversation. So simple icebreakers we can ask, and I've used these many times. What's your favorite place to travel? Your favorite restaurant? The favorite dish you've ever cooked up? Or the favorite dish you've ever made? What are your retirement goals? Or what does your typical Saturday afternoon look like? These are fun, low-threatening, comfortable questions to ask somebody to really start getting to know them on a deeper level, going beyond those surface-level type conversations. The last thing that we can do, and this really ties in well with points 1 and 2, is preparing a list of questions that we might ask people who attend the event. Going back to the event's purpose, the likely clientele, and even some of those icebreakers we might use, what are some follow-up questions we can ask? What are some thought-provoking questions we might ask anybody we come across? The fun part about these questions is we're dictating how those conversations are going to go, and we're creating conversations that are going to feel not only natural, but can be fun to have with others. When we actually arrive, the first thing we can do is make sure we're putting our phone away. This device that for some reason we always not only have on us, but we also use to fall back on whenever we're somewhat uncomfortable. By keeping our phone away, we're doing something that ties in really well with the next point. We're being approachable. Being approachable looks very, very safe for people, and it's not always easy to know what does it look like to be approachable. Simple behaviors such as smiling, making eye contact, nodding along, even walking through the room, browsing, make us look more approachable, as opposed to if we have our little hors d'oeuvre plate and we're at a corner table and we're turned away from everybody, especially if we're eating our hors d'oeuvres or appetizers and staring at our phone. By being approachable, it makes it much more likely somebody else is going to come up to us. The next thing we can do is anytime we do start a conversation, we make sure to listen closely to what is this individual's name. So it can be very easy to, hi, I'm Mike, and you are, okay, well, what do you do? And to very quickly forget what that person's name is. But by not only listening closely, but even repeating that individual's name 2 or 3 times, it comes across very authentic, and it comes across to that person like our attention is solely on you right now. Another thing we can do is make sure we're actually asking the questions that we had prepared. If we ask ourselves, who is somebody that everybody likes to talk about more than anybody? The answer is always ourselves. We tend to like talking about ourselves and our own interests more than anything else. And so by asking these questions, we're helping set up that time and that relationship with this individual that we want to learn about you, and we're interested in hearing what you have to say. Now, as we finish up the program, as we finish up the evening, trying to collect all of those business cards and any contact information we may have gathered, and then even sending a brief follow-up email or a note. Hey, it was great meeting you at the event. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed learning about this from you. Or I enjoyed our conversation about this particular topic. What we're doing there is helping remind that individual that, oh yeah, this is who I was talking to, and oh yeah, that was a pleasant conversation. Remember, networking isn't necessarily the most comfortable thing we can do, but by doing it, by preparing ahead of time and engaging with it, we're not only helping set up our own career advancement and development, but we're positioning ourselves to help out others. Best of luck with your networking. Hey team, if you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button, as each week we're putting out more videos related to not only the screw-ups I've made in my career, but also the strategies we can use to help us advance in our careers. Time for development. Invest in yourself.